Today we're going to be experiencing the building of a 14-inch Fit Misfit complete bike for my buddy Dustin's daughter. Probably sit on the So when you open your complete bike box, there will be a box within the box. Make sure you don't throw that box away because that contains your pedals right there, your reflectors, and brake cable strap, and then just the owner's manual. So getting this thing out of the box here, we took a lot of the packaging off, and now Dustin's undoing the seat so we can put it on. Just uses a 6mm Allen to tighten, and then we'll get it on the stand with that. I'll show you the color. Here is the Allens. And at this point, we got the bike on the stand. I think at this point, I mean, the order doesn't matter as much. These bikes are pretty much built in the box. All you have to do is the front wheel, the bars, the seat, the pedals. That's pretty much it. And then finish removing the packaging. And to install the bars is pretty simple. You're just removing all of the bolts. Yeah, they're hand tight. You're just removing all of the bolts, which appear to come pre-greased. Could add some to that if you want to be extra safe. And while he's finishing this part too, the Fit Misfit 14 Complete comes in 2 other colors than this dusty perp that we see here that we haven't got a full chance to see yet. There's also the 12, the Strider, and the 16 and the 18 in this lineup. And to put the bars on here, it's just like any other bike where you're putting the threads in the bolts. And one thing you want to make sure when you're installing the bars on there is that you make sure the knurling right here, you can see, is centered in the stem. You can see pretty well from the top where that sits. Doesn't matter too much until you get the bolts a little bit tighter because the bars are gonna freely move before that anyways. And one thing I always reiterate when we're talking about tightening a stem is that you wanna go in a pattern with it where you start in one corner, go to the opposite corner, then go up or down, and then go to the opposite corner again. And you always wanna make sure that the gaps between the cap on either side are all even, so that you have even pressure on the stem. Here you can clearly see the gap on the bottom part of the stem. We go to the top and you can see it's a little bit smaller on the top. And if you experience this, all you have to do is loosen whichever side is closer together a little bit and then tighten the other side, because whatever amount you loosen the too close side, you have the ability to tighten the other side, and you can go back and forth if you go too much. So it's easier to go like little bits at a time and just make sure everything is even because it's just more safe that way. Oh, he's finishing that up. That seat is too cool. And I don't know that there is a torque spec for a 14-inch kids bike stem, but I would imagine just tight is good. What we would consider tight for a full-size bike is probably fine. So, you doing the pedals next? Yeah. Okay, and as I mentioned, I think order doesn't matter a ton. The bars make the most sense because they're detached from the bike in a way that is not fully detached because of the brake cable and the brakes already being set up. It makes more sense to do the bars so they're not just flopping. It's a quality of life thing. Can I see one of these? These pedals, even on this 14-inch bike, have a 6mm Allen broach on them for tightening. That's a pretty nice touch. You can use, at this point, we've used a 6mm Allen for everything. Right. Except cutting stuff off. A tip for tightening pedals on is that when the bike is right side up, the threads always go spinning towards the front of the bike to tighten.
Like, left side has left-hand thread, so it tightens in left.
Yeah. That is looking like a bike. So at this point, all that's left to do is to put the front wheel on, remove the rest of the packaging, and just inspect everything to make sure that it is tight and good to go. All right, we got the rest of the packaging off there, and now we just take out the spacer, which keeps the forks from getting pushed in or pulled outward during shipping. Front wheel just needs loosened out a little bit. So one thing you're gonna wanna make sure when you're installing this thing is that you pay attention, keep with that upward, to that little slot washer that is on there. And when you put it on, it goes into the slot on the fork.
Which means you might have to fully remove the nut to get that washer.
Yeah, it is possible. You think you're gonna have to?
Nope.
Nice. So in this scenario, you didn't actually have to do that. We're gonna get close up, making sure you can see what you gotta do here. Make sure that slot is in the slot on the dropout. And then you still wanna make sure that the wheel is fully in the dropout like that. So that is a 17 millimeter, and you tighten this down, making sure that it is fully seated in the dropouts. The slots are in. And at this point, we're just gonna go over the rest of this bike. Just check all of the bolts and nuts and everything that you could tighten, and make sure everything is snugged up the way that you want it to be, and then you should be solid. So we got the bike complete here, and now that it's done, other than adjusting the seat height here for the rider, I just wanted to show the bike to give you an idea of what you'll get if you get one of these 14-inch complete fits. So first thing that pops out to me is that this has actual 990 Springfield brakes on it that work very, very well. They pull nice, everything's cool about them, and it has this smaller lever here built for someone smaller with smaller hands. It has 3-piece cranks on it with, I'm pretty sure those are 9/16 pedals, and a mid bottom bracket, which is great. Everything about this bike is pretty legit for a 14-inch bike. So if you guys wanted to pick one of these up, you can find it, the link in the description down below, and use the code all caps Brant for 10% off of that. But take a look at these graphics too. They are too cool. Fit 14, got the Fit grips on here, and this is definitely a pretty legit bike for a 14. They also have, like I said before, the 2 other colors in this one, and the 16, 12, 18, all the way up to the 20s, obviously. So all it took to build this bike was a 6mm Allen and a 17mm socket in order to tighten the front wheel. Super easy process. Hopefully you can follow along with it easy, and your little one enjoys their new bike. So hopefully this got you through it. Thanks for watching, and use the code down below and the link down below if you want to save 10% and help me out at the same time. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Can you do me a favor? High five my camera.
Yep. Sharp turn, baby.
Awesome. Give me some. That was awesome. We high five too. Skipping training wheels, huh?
Yeah, never even. I sat her on. She has a bike with training wheels in the garage. We sat her on it, and it would lean a little bit, and she hated it. So she rips around on her strider, and then she got right on that and just settled it.